She came back after 10 years. But I was already married. It was raining the night she walked back into my life. The kind of quiet rain that makes the streets shine under yellow streetlights. The kind that makes you slow down, think about things you tried to forget. I was sitting in my car outside a grocery store, staring at my phone, pretending I wasn't avoiding going home. My wife had texted me 3 times already. Are you coming? Dinner is getting cold. Ethan keeps asking where you are. Ethan was my son. He was 6. And he had my eyes. I sighed and rubbed my face, trying to shake off the strange heaviness in my chest. I don't know why I looked up at that moment. But when I did, I saw her. Standing under the flickering light near the entrance. Emma. For a second, my brain refused to accept what my eyes were seeing. Because Emma wasn't supposed to be there. Emma was supposed to be 10 years in the past. But there she was. Same dark hair. Same quiet posture. Only, something about her looked more fragile now. Like life had pressed its weight on her shoulders. My heart started beating so loudly I could hear it in my ears. I hadn't seen her in a decade. Not since the night everything fell apart. Not since the night she disappeared. 10 years earlier. Emma was the kind of girl people noticed without understanding why. She wasn't loud. She didn't try to be the center of attention. But when she walked into a room, something shifted. Like the air had changed. I met her in college. First day of literature class. She sat 2 rows in front of me, wearing a gray sweater that looked a little too big for her. The professor asked everyone to introduce themselves. When it was her turn, she stood up slowly. My name is Emma, she said softly. That was it. No long speech. No jokes. Just 2 words. But I remember thinking. I want to know everything about her. It started with small things. Studying together. Coffee after class. Long walks across campus when neither of us wanted the night to end. Emma had this way of listening that made you feel like the most important person in the world. When she looked at you, it was like nothing else existed. And when she smiled. God! That smile could stop time. We fell in love quietly. No dramatic confession. No fireworks. Just 1,000 small moments that slowly turned into something neither of us could escape. By the time we graduated, I was certain of one thing. I was going to marry her. But life doesn't always move the way you expect. 2 weeks before my proposal. Emma changed. She became distant. Quieter than usual. Like she was carrying something heavy she refused to share. One night, I finally asked her. Emma, what's wrong? She looked at me for a long time before answering. And when she spoke, her voice was shaking. You deserve someone better than me. I laughed. Because it sounded ridiculous. Emma, I said, taking her hands, you are the best thing that ever happened to me. Tears filled her eyes. And that was the moment I knew something was truly wrong. Please, I whispered. Just tell me. She looked down. I can't. The next morning. She was gone. No goodbye. No explanation. Her apartment was empty. Her phone disconnected. It was like she had erased herself from the world. I spent months trying to find her. Calling mutual friends. Searching online. Even driving to the town where she grew up. Nothing. Emma had vanished. And eventually, life forced me to move on. That's when I met Sarah. She was kind. Stable. Safe. Not like Emma, who felt like a storm you willingly walked into. But after the chaos Emma left behind, safety felt good. 3 years later we got married. Then Ethan was born. And slowly, Emma became something distant. A memory. A ghost of a life that never happened. Until tonight. Standing under a streetlight. 10 years later. Emma looked up. And our eyes met. The moment froze. She recognized me instantly. I could see it in the way her breath caught. For a second neither of us moved. Then she took a step toward my car. My hand started shaking. I rolled down the window. Emma. Her name felt strange in my mouth after all these years. She gave a small smile. Hi, Daniel. Her voice was exactly the same. Soft. Careful. Dangerous to my heart. For a moment we just looked at each other. 10 years of silence sitting between us. Finally I asked the only question that mattered. Why did you leave? Her smile faded. And I saw tears gathering in her eyes. I was hoping you wouldn't ask that. But I have to. She looked down at the rain-soaked pavement. Then she whispered something I wasn't ready to hear. I was pregnant. My entire world stopped. What? She nodded slowly. I found out 2 weeks before you planned to propose. My heart started racing. Then why didn't you tell me? She looked at me again. And the pain in her eyes was unbearable. Because I was dying. The words hit like a punch to the chest. I had a rare heart condition, she continued. Doctors told me pregnancy could kill me. I couldn't breathe. So you just left? She wiped a tear from her cheek. I thought it was the only way to protect you. My voice broke. What happened to the baby? Emma looked at the ground again. I lost it, 3 months later. Silence filled the car. Rain tapping softly against the windshield. 10 years. 10 years of anger. Of believing she abandoned me. And all that time. She was fighting for her life. Why come back now? I asked quietly. Emma hesitated. Then she said the one thing I never expected. Because I wanted to see you one last time. My stomach dropped. What do you mean? Her smile returned. But it was fragile. The doctors were wrong 10 years ago. A pause. They said I wouldn't live long. Another pause. They were right. I felt my chest tighten. How long? Emma looked at the rain. A few months. The world outside the car suddenly felt unreal. Cars passing. People walking. Everything normal. While my past. My love. Was quietly saying goodbye. She took a step back from the car. I'm sorry, Daniel, she whispered. For disappearing. For breaking your heart. Then she smiled one last time. I just needed to know you were happy. And before I could say anything. She turned. And walked away into the rain. I sat there for a long time. Listening to the sound of my own heartbeat. Then my phone buzzed. A message from my wife. Ethan fell asleep waiting for you. I looked toward the street where Emma had disappeared. Then back at the message. 2 lives. 2 versions of love. One I had. One I lost. And for the first time in 10 years. I realized something painful. Sometimes the greatest love of your life. Is the one you only get almost. If this story felt familiar. Maybe you've loved almost, too. I'll see you next time. After Dark.